time to start.
Yes, that's right. Good. Now it's in recording, and we're in business. Yep. Okay, my side is. I think my signal is a little bit weak, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
But not that bad. I
Not
think
that
it
bad, right?
works.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, mine's showing red, so I can hear you okay.
Yeah, and so do I. I can hear you very well,
Okay.
and also with no lag with the sound. So I think it's all right.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do is to use this session either to answer people's questions, or you can represent the people and ask me questions, and the recording will be used for our for the course.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
think that one it's a good dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, from my language learner perspective and also languages trainer perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I think this one comes well. I mean, the method it comes with some inquiries, and uh, try to go over those questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will be pleased to ask you some questions and
Sure.
based on your experience, so to give some answers.
Okay.
All right, very good. So Nick, well, I think first of all, some of the most common questions that people have when I tell them about the methodology is it a whole system or is it a an activity within a standard and conventional language course?
Right. So every time with a lot of questions, I always compare it to learning either your first language or your either learning music, right? Obviously, it's very what my method relies a lot on music, and there's a reason for that we will go into probably later. But so if I ask myself, is learning uh, if we were to wanting to learn the guitar, right? What would the teacher ask you to do first? The teacher would want you to use your ears and learn to listen to the song first. And actually, it's more complex with music because you're going to have to. There's a rhythm involved, right? Which also requires your ears to attain that rhythm, right? So when you do that, you're taking the first step to this whole system, which is eventually you'll be able to play the guitar, you'll be able to jam with musicians, you'll be able to. Oh, we have a guest here. You'll be able to compose your own music, right? Hello there. Whoa, we got kids here.
Yeah, we do.
Hello.
Oh, I love kids.
Thank
Hola,
you. Hola.
¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Regina. ¿Y tú?
Vecina.
Renata. Fuerte. Regina.
Vecina, hola.
Renata.
Me llamo Nicolás. Mucho gusto.
Hola, Nicolás.
Well, I think this is a very it's a blessing that we get kids coming on here, because a lot of times people, when they finally use my method, they Regina and Renata, mucho gusto, and they never, when you start teaching your kids, whoop, let's skip. When you start teaching your kids, you never um, when you start teaching kids and you talk to them, and then you coach them in terms of how to make sounds, in terms of how to formulate sentences, in terms of recognizing uh, objects and the meanings and such. You never question whether or not that is a whole system. So my point is that the reason why people ask if it is a whole system is because they are so used to the traditional method. They have to have everything outlined for them. Okay, today we're gonna do listening. Today, then tomorrow we're gonna do writing, and then the day after that we're gonna do uh, reading and stuff like that, right? So to answer your question, my method is way more whole than any other system.
Yes,
Oh, tú hablas inglés?
yes.
Oh my gosh. Where do you learn English?
In the school. It's cool.
What's the name of your school?
Dile el nombre de tu escuela. Aristos.
Aistos? Is it a big school or a little school?
En mi escuela. Y de mi hermana también.
Es una escuela grande o pequeña? Pequeña.
Grande.
¿Grande? ¿Como eso o como eso?
Big.
Big.
Como
I see. Okay. 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 Well, does that answer your question, Ivan? Ivan, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I think one of the um, first questions that we as students and also as language coaches we find with our students as well is how will this method help me to improve my English? So and not only to have from the adult's perspective to have a wider cultural approach to the English language world, but on the other hand, also to have some improvement, right? And well, another question that I have, Nick, is once that I start working with songs and music, while I'm in my development and language development process, how will it help me to retrain my brain
Mhm.
that in many cases for adults we have worked only with grammar and structure rather than production.
Right. Well, you are already more than halfway there, since you recognize that it is rewiring your brain. Because, uh, like these lovely kids, they don't process their language with their hands, meaning they're writing on a piece of paper when they're talking to their mommy or daddy, or do they read from a book when they're talking to their mom and dad? The number one faculty to process language is these, the ears and the mouth. Okay, when you're used to traditional methods, you are very behind. You're in this. You're actually reversing your natural ability to process your language through your ears and your mouth, right? So through my method, you actually redeveloping this innate ability.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. So does that mean that I many of our coaches, what they do when they face a situation in which they need to use the language is that they are not able to produce. They get stuck because they're trying to use the background they have.
Hmm.
They rely a lot on what they can read, because if I have it on papers, and since many of us we recognize ourselves as visuals, that we learn while we are seeing something. So when I don't have I as an adult, I don't have this this visual reinforcement of something that is written on a piece of paper, and then I can read, so I can ensure myself that what I'm saying is correct. Then do you mean that through the years I will be able to produce in a language without even taking a look at what it is written?
Well, you've been doing it since you were what, 1 year old.
All right.
Every one of us
Mm-hmm.
have been doing that since we were 1 year old. The last thing kids would do is like, give me that book, stop talking to me, let me read it to you. Right? They would much rather try and make mistakes and try and try and try and try. Because
All
even
right.
as a child, as a toddler, they are eventually going to be able to figure out the grammar and eventually figure out the spelling. My argument is that it is much easier to teach you grammar than it is to teach you to produce, to enunciate the right way, since as an adult you're so used to, of course, in our daily encounter is are Mexicans, right? So they relate to the alphabet through the Spanish alphabet as opposed to the English alphabet. The A looks the same, every letter looks the same except for the end with enya, right? Uh, but then when they produce it, they have this um, they have this pull to to speak Spanish, to use to pronounce the alphabet in a Spanish way, as opposed to, no matter how much you try to tell them, no, it's this other way, it's an English alphabet, they have this pull. So unless you have a very powerful way to pull them away from it, namely this allowing them to use their eyes in the first place, you are not going to be able to get rid of your accent, right? So, for example, I was just thinking about this. A lot of times, with Spanish speakers, it is very difficult for them uh, s- to say words that starts with an S without saying eh. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if they say school, they say school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
But how am I gonna? But you tell me, uh, what is the word for city in Spanish?
Ciudad.
But why didn't you say ciudad?
Oh yeah, because we don't say it like that, so it's
But it's the
ciudad.
same.
So
But
we
it's the
don't.
same sound, right?
Hmm.
Ciudad,
Yeah, that's right.
school. Those are the same sound. But why?
Hmm.
What is it with the spelling that triggers your brain to produce these two sounds differently? Whereby one, you have these same sounds differently. Whereby one, you would attach a eh, whereby the other, you don't attach the eh to it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Right?
I think it for Spanish speakers, something that we face of course, there's a whole set of sounds that we don't have in Spanish, but they are in English, right? But on the other hand, so I think we, since Spanish is completely a phonetical language. So what I read, I speak in most of the cases. What happens is when I see the symbol, well, I correlate the symbol with the sound, with the name of that symbol. In this case, the S, and then it's difficult. It definitely, and I see the point. So it's challenging for a Spanish speaker to go over language and to introduce immerse themselves into English. Uh, but starting from Spanish. Because I have like this starting point, like everything that I read, I speak it, but in English it happens totally different.
Yeah, so that's why we don't start with the language. We start with the sounds, right? I mean
All
that
right.
that any sounds, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
example I always get my students to my beginning students to do is to say, okay, copy me. Okay, maybe we can try
Okay.
this with the kids, right? Kids, can you copy me?
Okay.
Can you copy me, kids? Renata
Yes.
and Regina.
Yes.
Okay, copy
Yes.
me. Copy me, right? You see how they don't think about they don't think about it and they just copy. But when you ask an adult to copy something, they would first ask you, how do you spell it?
Yeah.
Or
You're
how do
right.
you spell a sound? A sound is a sound, right? A
Hmm.
symbol is not the sound. The symbol is a representation of the sound. So that's the premise of copycat karaoke. You just copy whatever sound you make. Very good job there, copying there.
Thank you.
Now, Mariana,
Hello.
to what do we owe this pleasure of having the kids around?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to me. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so. I think it's too simple because it's normally we have another kind of teaching. For example, first spelling or something like that, but now sounds. So I think it's really natural or easier for us.
Now,
Mhm, go ahead.
I'm sorry for the interruption. Let me just tell you, Mariana. So she is running a project, the one that I have already told you, in which she is just promoting education, information, personal development, personal health care, for elderly people. So
Oh,
people
okay.
about the 60s, and well, so a part of her project is getting people who at some point they finish a stage in their lives and they are just looking forward to getting some new experiences. And with this a beautiful project, well, she also wants to get these people different strategies to take care of themselves, at the same time that they are learning something new. So a
Okay.
passion that they're pursuing, is something that they wanted to do for a long time. And well, music, it really matches with we as humans use to express ourselves, but also it's very connected with what we have always loved. And many people, we love music in other languages, but we have been at some point far away from this opportunity. Now, what Copycat Karaoke also is unveiling is this opportunity to link both learning a new language and where while at the same time getting closer to something that we most of the people love, which is music, right? So well, that is one of the reasons why I also asked Mariana if she wanted to join. Very happy to see her just coming also with the girls. Now, Nick, I have one question, and also I'd like to ask you for a favor. Would you mind maybe showing a little bit, trying to, you know, get the girls, Mariana? I see another name here. I don't know if it is Luis.
Lucy and Dana or Dana.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's Zaina. Actually, you know her. Zaina, the teacher
Oh, back
from
in
North
CIC.
Carolina. Yeah,
Okay.
it's the at the CIC. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Hello.
and well,
So good to see you.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. Oh, your mic is a little.
Your son.
Oh, now I can hear. Yes, good. That's okay. I think you were covering your microphone. That's why with your hand. Yeah. Yeah.
hi Dana, thank you for joining.
Now,
All right.
in terms of the, I want to say one word there. In terms of the seniors, is the 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 part of your brain that processes your language and music is actually right next to each other. So it's going to be a very good exercise, new in terms of your brain for seniors, well, for anybody really, right?
Well, uh, I
Whoop, you muted.
oh
Yes,
Yeah.
you're
I'm
right.
sorry. All right. So I think it really makes sense. Now the favor I wanted to ask you for is, can you please share something in which let Regina, Renata know how this system works, so that they initially they start, getting a grasp of how the methodology works. And of course, Mariana and well, Dana, she has already worked on a similar activity some few months ago, where
Right.
we were showing this to the people at the research center at the IPN, right? But
Right.
yeah, please.
Okay. I can probably show you a recent class that I have, and then you can have a look at. Let me set this up while you guys can ask me questions while I'm looking for the video.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
This method is cool or great for people, older people, around 60 years old. It doesn't matter the age. I don't know if it works. That's
Mhm.
the same.
I have tried it with most of my students are well anything. I teach anywhere from 6 years old to 40, 50 years old. Actually, I teach myself Spanish through the same method. I'm 55, so uh, so I, you know, it is some we're learning something that is already innate within us. So there shouldn't be an age restriction, right? I think I think there are methods out there that the older you are, the harder it is. For example, if you ask um, seniors to read, they might they might not like it as much, right? But in any case, the um, unless there's something wrong with the your ears or your mouth, then there should be no reason why you can learn it. You can use this method. Now let me see here. Okay, I have a 2-minute video here. Let me play it here. And okay, let me see how I'm gonna share this screen here. Give me a second. All right, so I am gonna share screen. Yes, share. Okay, I'm gonna play it. So let me know if you guys can hear it. Okay. Okay. So that is a short clip of what I usually do in class. And prior to that, the students were listening and copying multiple times. And the secret sauce is that they need to copy right after the right as closely as simultaneously as possible, just like you would sing in karaoke, right? And that will help you build the bridge between your ears and your mouth. But if in a regular classroom, you just sit there, there is no action with these two organs, with your ears and your mouth, right? Um, and that lady, I was joking with, she's actually a singer. She's actually a singer and a songwriter. So we were trying to get her to. She actually did sing for us with in another in when she was visiting us, and so she was one of my guests in the in that particular class, right? Um, but as you can see, we after we have copy many times, then we analyze the sounds in a in a very, I guess you can say, a bit more of a adult's way, because I use adults have the ability to understand knowledge, to understand the logic behind what I'm saying, right? But if you were just to present that from the get go, it is and it is something that is doesn't have an experiential base to it. But after you have copied many times, you would have a you would be able to analyze these things much more with much more of a feel to it. I'm using a lot of musical terms, but but that's exactly what it is, right? So I will send you I will send you another link. I will send you a link whereby you can have access to a lot of these. Actually, I'm going to send it to you right here, so that you guys can have a look at a lot of these. A lot look at my channel on YouTube, and then you guys can ask me more questions sometime later. So let me see here. How do I share this? Yes, let's try this. Okay, I'm gonna send it on the chat here.
Thank you. Nick, I think I would ask you for another favor.
Yes.
Besides those links, probably if there's a way in which we can reach you out. So, if I'm interested, I know Dana, she is doing a great job. For a long time, she's been studying Spanish right now. She is in charge of many, I can tell many people also within a classroom and in those one-on-one sessions, and she is going through a I think she's using many strategies, but some of them that I have seen is she also works with music a lot. So when she teaches young students, and also when she teaches other, I'm sure that it's part of what she does in a standard one-on-one session with adults. But now my question is, how can we reach you out? So if we would
Richard.
like to know more about the system, we would like to, to have that immersive experience while we work with music at
Mhm.
Copycat Karaoke.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm gonna write it here. Instagram, uh, and my handle there is copycat cat karaoke. Or you can simply email me at Nicholas. My Nicholas is more English, so it has an H to it. Nicholas Fung at iCloud.com. Oops, com, not com. Com. There we go. But if Dana, before we go, maybe we can ask Dana what what is the most challenging thing that she's experiencing.
I would say, in terms of using music, probably getting the children to not feel as shy and to feel like they can sing along and pitch in. So
Right,
I'd say that's probably the biggest challenge. And I guess for me, like learning how to be a good leader with that too.
right.
Because it is something that I've worked with a little bit, but I'm not as experienced, and I'm trying to incorporate it more and more into the lessons.
Okay. Usually, when you play music, just children would jump around and start. If they don't know how to sing it, they would just jump around, right?
Yeah.
So how you hear a lot of the in the ESL world of total physical response and stuff like that, right? I always say that my way of teaching is truly the total physical response, right? But with children, I probably would let them just let them lead you rather than you lead them, right? You lead them,
Okay.
you let them start with whatever, and then you can try to guide them to it, guide them to some sort of a goal. Even if they don't hit it, it's they're doing something. Eventually, they would say they would do what you do because you're an adult, right? Or usually, I would have some sort of a gift or a goal for them to strive for, right? You say, okay, we're going to have a singing contest, right? So you
Oh.
can play, you can demonstrate it for them, and again, you will find in my channel how I guide my students to sing the songs, right? Or actually copy the sounds. I shouldn't say singing the songs, right? For kids, it's they have no. Actually, I'll give you this one. I'll give you. How old are the kids that you work with?
I have my youngest is 4, and
Okay.
then up to like 10, 11.
Okay. So do you know the song Starry Night? Starry, Starry Night. Da, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee, dee,
I'm
da,
familiar
dee,
with
da,
it,
dee, da,
yes.
dee. Okay. Now, this is going to blow their minds. There is an exercise whereby there is one of those swirly things that you look at, and then
Hmm.
once they get you to in this video, if you contact me, I'm gonna find it for you, and then uh, you can try yourself, and everybody can try it. It's really mind-blowing. So you stare at this swirly thing for like 2 minutes or a minute or something like that, then they switch over to the Starry Night painting,
Hmm.
and then once you do that, you see all the clouds are swirling and stuff like that. When the kids see that, they will go, "Oh, wow, wow, wow!" And then you ask them, "Well, what do you see? What do you see?" "Oh, the clouds are swirling, la 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 la," right? So you say, you know what? You can tell them the story about Vincent Van Gogh and stuff like that. This is a pretty sad song, but you know, but then Mr. Rogers is never shy about helping kids understand sadness, right? It shouldn't be something that
Hmm.
is taboo and not talked about. But then you say, oh, there's a song behind that, and then you can teach them. Then it's a very good lead into to this song. Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's a good idea. I love that
Yeah,
you
and I
just
have a
described.
whole Spotify playlist of songs that are not kids songs. Again, I'm gonna use Mr. Rogers again. He is a proponent for not using kiddie songs. He is he is a very accomplished uh, jazz pianist, right? And he used very very sophisticated jazz pieces. And then kids are not. I mean, again, at the end of the day, they are just sounds, and good sounds, good rhythm. They really, the kids are really, they really soak up to it, right? So you send me you contact me. I'm gonna send you that whole list of Spotify playlist, right? And you guys can vote on which songs you guys like to work on, right? Let them choose, give them some autonomy, right? I see Mariana
All
has to
right.
go. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We have to go, but
Okay.
nice to see you. And I put in our chat.
Okay. I look
Um,
forward to talking to you more next time.
okay.
Hasta
Yes. Thank you so
luego.
much. Bye
Bye.
bye.
See you later, alligator.
Bye,
See you.
Lehi. Bye, Renata.
Bye.
Bye, Mariani.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right. So I think we're just coming close to the end of the 30 minutes that we allocated. So I
Okay.
do appreciate Dana that you joined. Now, something that I like to put on the table, so and also that we can probably discuss in the future, is how to adapt music to the different public. So I totally agree with you. So that there are songs that are some sort of universal, but music has something that is very very special, which is it resonates with with the individual. So,
Hmm.
and sometimes we don't. There are several students who don't feel like listening to Sinatra, for example, right? They feel more like listening to the music that it resonates with us, with them, right? Then I think this is something I like to put on the table as well. So in the case of Dana, who is currently using kid songs because they resonate, because these songs they resonate with the children, and in the end, there are so many music genres that for every single type of person, but also for every single mood, right? So I think we can also jump into, we as teachers, we can jump into different possibilities that we can explore that we must adapt to the different publics and to the different students.
Hmm.
And well, so I think that would be a possibility for another session,
Hmm.
but I think we can continue talking about this. And Dana, I'd like to invite you for some other sessions in which we will some sort of put some ideas together on how the system works. And actually, Nick, he's also getting ready a training for teachers. So in which there will be strategies, techniques, approaches, some models, some mock classes in which there will be different resources that you can use and that will be very engaging for the students, even if right now you're working at an institution that probably has its way of teaching. But I'm sure that this methodology will be very very disrupting and mostly effective for your students. So
I would love
you will
that.
be invited.
Thank you.
Yes, we're gonna have the same thing next week, same time. So you can
Okay.
bring your questions, or you can try it this week with your kids and see how they react to it, right? And then bring back the
Yes.
field questions. And please reach
Yes, I
out to
have
me.
them
And
on
then,
Monday, so it's perfect.
pardon?
I have them on Monday again, so that's perfect to try kind of what you talked about tonight.
Right. So yeah, send me the once I have your contact, I'm gonna send you that the Starry Night song, and then you guys the material for that. It's gonna be a hoot.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. I'll send you my email right now.
Okay.
Perfect.
Let me. Okay. Open mail. Okay. Good. Well, in that case, we will say goodbye for now, and I will talk to you guys offline, and I'll see you guys next week again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
David.